Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Tyler Riddle. I'm a product manager here at Teradek, and my colleague Derek is coming up.
How's everybody doing?
You can see the title of this thing is Accelerate Live Production Workflows with Frame.io. It sounds very official. These are the people that are going to speak to you tonight. Myself, Derek, Sean, and also Derek. So today we're going to talk about short life assets and what in the world those are and what that has to do with Frame.io and Teradek and that whole paradigm. So what is a short life asset? As the name implies, it only really matters in that moment. An example would be highlight clips of a basketball game. After a certain amount of time, those things tend not to get as much traction. As we all understand, sports is one of those mediums that is in the moment. Another thing, esports events that you are sending promotional content and you want to get that content over to your consumers very quickly. Promotion of a concert as it's happening. You'll see users use their cell phones for this, but we are offering a solution that is a little more professional and allows you to actually scale a bit more. And then, of course, like a preseason practice sort of promotion to get people excited. We actually have customers that are doing this right now. For example, the NFL. We have some people in the NFL that will shoot clips of practices, the QBs, and post all this stuff to get people excited about their teams. And they find it super effective because they can use professional level cameras, but deliver those clips very quickly to their social media. I wanted to talk about the hardware solution and what that looks like. Why in the world would Frame do something with us? Frame has a lot of integrations, but what is so special about us? And if anybody knows anything about Teradek, we offer this little thing called bonding. One of the beautiful things about bonding is that you can split it across multiple connections. Basically, we have this device called a Prism Mobile, and it has several cellular modems on it, and we can take that clip and we can break it apart and then put it back together in Frame. Now, most people, if you know about bonding, typically have to send to a server, and then that server then has to go somewhere else. In this case, we just send straight to Frame. There's no intermediate server. There's nothing else you have to pay for. It's straight bonded into Frame. So that's one of those cool things that is pretty much, I think, a Teradek only thing. As far as I know, I don't think any other manufacturer is doing that. It's not just one cellular connection. We're actually breaking the file apart and piping it down all of these different pipes, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and we're putting it back together on the other side. And then reassembling the clip, and then Frame takes it from there.
Your speed to delivery is a lot faster using this method than others that use just a single output. So you'll essentially, I'm not going to say triple the speed, but you could possibly do that with this versus some other system.
So the Prism Mobile, if you've seen it before, it has a built-in modem A and a built-in modem B. It supports AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. We also offer data. Our data works great with our products, and we support, of course, it working well with our products.
In the US, you have AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, but we do have global reach on all of our data. So if you have to do this from another country, you can just switch your SIM over to that country's plan, whichever one you want to use, without having to change your SIM out or move your data bucket around or add more data.
We actually offer a bucket solution that is not a monthly plan. We say, hey, here's a glob of data. You can have it and you can use it when you want. Okay, this is much better for a production. As you guys know, your productions happen a lot and then they happen a little and then a lot and then a little. And so instead of paying that monthly fee that you're paying every month, but you're only using 6 months out of the year, you buy a bucket. All of your SIMs can use that bucket. And if some SIMs aren't using that much, that's okay. They were very cheap to buy. And then other SIMs which use a lot of data can utilize that same bucket. So they all share the same thing. And so it's great for like large fleets. It really makes scaling out nice because you don't have to have a plan for every single cellular modem that you have.
All right, so we're going to talk a little Frame.io. Hello, yes, private applause, yes. All right, so quickly, raise of hands. Who's actually used Frame.io? Who's familiar with it? A lot of hands. I love it. So you're very familiar with kind of how Frame.io works overall. We'll wrap it up pretty quickly on this part because you already kind of understand. But the idea we want to call this is centralize, collaborate, and deliver. And the idea here is that Frame.io will take in all of your creative assets. Not only are you able to do your videos, which a lot of you may be familiar with Frame.io being centralized for, but now you can actually put in your photos, your graphical assets, and everything you want for your creative projects directly in Frame. And you can comment them and work on them the same way you can with your video assets, which is really amazing. But what we're talking about here is I'm going to talk a little bit about V4 because we did just announce that last week at Adobe Max. And we're really excited to have it available to all of our individual users. And I'm actually going to go over a demo on that here shortly. But right now, we're talking about Teradek and their solution to get your files into the cloud. But we want to talk a little bit about what Camera to Cloud is on the Frame.io side. So what is Camera to Cloud? Well, essentially what Camera to Cloud is the fastest and most secure way to automatically centralize your photos, your videos, and get them right into your Frame.io account so you could start that delivery process. But, you know, it's easy to kind of talk about it. We definitely want to show it to you and show you how it all works. But Teradek makes this process very, very easy because they've got the bonded cellular devices. They also do the encoding in the device to actually send that up to Frame.io. So your proxies are available immediately for your creative team to actually start working with those assets. So this is a simple way to kind of look at it. Right now, this is kind of what you do typically on a shoot. You've got your video source, you've got an actual device that you have to record that to. The physical delivery of that device, a lot of times, what do you got to do? You're shooting a game, you're shooting a concert. What happens? I'm out of card space, but I got to get this over the computer and upload, or I got to go dump it. What's happening? You're missing important key moments of the game, of the concert, whatever you're shooting, to go dump and upload footage. In this scenario, with the Teradek device and Frame.io, you now are cutting out a lot of that middleman, and you could just keep shooting and keep going. If you run out of space on your card, you swap out your card, you're good to go. You're back in action, just like what we do anyway. But you don't have to leave that event to get the job that you need to get done. And that's why we're so excited about this type of integration with people that are out in the field, because we know what it does for our videographers out there. And the goal here is less time to delivery. We want to get those assets out there, especially if you've got different case studies. You talked about NFL, but one other one that we have is Golden State Warriors. They're, obviously a huge basketball team, amazing basketball team. They've been able to actually increase their social media presence up to 300%. And they were actually able to really, Steph Curry did an amazing 3-point shot where they actually were able to get that directly onto social in just a matter of moments. And they used Frame.io as the conduit to get it to all of their different teams, their legal departments, their marketing teams, and get all those approvals and things done in just a matter of time because everyone had access to all those clips in real time. So that's the power and beauty of Camera to Cloud. And you team up with Teradek, you get your files up there fast, and you can use their cellular service to get things fast, quick, and efficient. I'm going to pass it back to you guys, and then we're going to do a demo here in just a moment.
Thanks, Sean. So one of the other use cases that we wanted to feature today was at LAAX Switzerland with ski and snowboard competition. So the problem was the action and a lot of the camera capture was at the very top of the hill while the production team was at the bottom. So running cards down something like this or getting somebody to ferry stuff back and forth, nobody wants that job. So what they did is they insulated their cameras a little bit and popped on a Prism Mobile on the back of this at the top of the hill, and we're sending recorded clips down to the team at the production office at the bottom of the hill. That was where they were setting everything up, but also the editorial bay was back there too. So they could record clips, they could get clips directly off of Frame, cut them up, send them to socials, post that jump, post that 360 that the guy did off of the top or whatever real quick, and get the viewers back over to the live stream. A quote that they gave us: by using Camera to Cloud production, we were able to provide viewers with insights and different perspectives of the event much faster than in the past. Transporting recorded material to the valley was necessary. So that whole trip back and forth, up and down the hill, was not needed. So their time to delivery was there. So the next use case we want to talk about is a race called the Baja Aragón, and this is in Spain. So I'm going to show you a clip that they got. Obviously, a Teradek backpack there, and their camera. We're using an A Sony something. So what they did here and why this is important is that they had 4 different Prism Mobile backpacks, all with 5G modems, so 6 5G modems in each of those. And they would capture the drone footage. Any footage that you see on that clip was captured through Teradek Prism. And they were also operating all of these in at least 40C heat. Everything worked flawlessly. They can upload over EU SIMs from Teradek Data. We switched them over to an EU SIM for Spain, and they were uploading clips over native cellular in the middle of the desert. This has been battle tested all over the world, and now we're going to see a demo from you guys on how to use it here in LA. Sean?
Let's do it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a demo here. All right, but I'm going to need a little bit of your help, but I'm going to show you in this demo itself, we're actually going to set up our camera to cloud device. We're going to get some clips in. We're going to show you how quickly we can use metadata tags to organize that into a collection and then share that out in just a matter of a few minutes. So let's show you. So let's switch over to my screen here. And I don't know if you guys have seen version 4, but this is Frame.io version 4. And right now I am on the workspace page, and this allows me to see all of my projects. I did already create one for Teradek, but I do want to show you how quickly and easy it is to actually create a project. So I create new project. I could choose a blank one, but something new with V4 is the ability to choose a project template. So these are actually already created for us inside of Frame. So depending on what you're working on, whether it's brand assets or whatnot, you'll be able to actually choose one of these. It lets you know what metadata fields are created, what collections are created, and it'll actually create a light folder structure for you. But I've already got one created for this event, so I'm just going to hop inside that, and we have a whole new layout. And we have a lot of Frame.io users, so you can see already right off the bat is extremely different than how it is now currently. Now, on the top left-hand side, we've got this kind of folder tree here, and that's where all of our assets live. And as I click on those folders, it'll allow me to see the assets within them. So if I click on an asset here, I've got a bunch of metadata tags that I'm viewing that Frame.io is giving me. But I can open up my panel here. I can actually see my video playing in the center. I've even got my comments on the far right. I can choose one that's actually maybe got some comments. I don't think this one does. But now I don't have to actually go into the asset in order to read and view it. I can actually just do everything all on one screen. So that's one thing that we thought was really, really cool in here. But let's set up a device. So I've got Derek back there who's actually going to be manning that camera. Let's go ahead and set it up. So at the bottom of my project, I've got C2C connections. And now what I want to do is I want to add a connection. So that's probably the biggest thing that makes it really easy in Frame is that it's just a 6-digit code, and it's a rolling 6-digit code for security reasons. There's no login. There's no what's the password? What's the email on that? Am I on the account? Basically, you can connect all this through your phone. As long as you're on the project as a member, you'll be able to do it on your phone or device when you're in the field, or if you have somebody on a remote location on a computer, all they need is that 6-digit code, and it works. Derek, give me a thumbs up when you got that code.
Yeah, it's 975 537.
537. Boom. So I put those in. It lets me know what device we're connecting to, who is the person doing it, and what project it's going to. I can then authorize it. That's the sound it's making in the background. And now it's showing me what the connection name is. I can actually change this. So if I'm working on a multicam shoot, I can go camera A, camera B, or cameraman person name this, or whatever. Or this is the camera on top of whatever. You guys get the idea. So I can change this to whatever I need to. I can set an expiration date when I want this device to disconnect from Frame.io. I can also change the time zone. So the time is very important because that's how the trigger works within the camera. So make sure you're on the correct time zone. So I'm just going to leave this alone here. Actually, let's call it Derek's. Derek Cam. Boom. Not all those names. Complete. And boom, now we're connected. So what I'm going to have Derek do is I'm going to have him roll some clips. And we did some earlier, but basically once you actually roll a clip, it'll create a folder called Cloud Devices directly inside of your Frame account. And it's organized by your shoot day and then what segment you're using. Again, camera to cloud works for also stills and other integrations that we have in our ecosystem. So if you are doing photos and whatnot, it will say video, say photos. If it's coming from an app, it'll say that as well. And right now we're seeing Derek Cam coming in, and there's some clips populating as we speak. So as Derek's kind of rolling, the clips are coming in nice and easy, and I can open those up, play those back, and boom. Takes a few moments. Like they said, it does do a transcode process when you upload. So it has to transcode those in the background before it can actually be playable. And I don't know how large of a bit rate we have on our files, so it might just take a few moments. But there we go. This one popped in. Let me do a quick refresh here. And JJ already left a comment, so maybe I wasn't seeing it on my end, but there you go. There I am talking, yapping away, and that clip is in there. JJ's actually, or our marketing team is actually leaving comments right inside a frame. But you know what? I don't want to limit it to just JJ. Why don't we give it to all you guys? If we actually go to that next slide, if you guys want to pull up your phones, I'll show you how easy this is to do no matter where you are. So pull out your phones, jump on that QR code. This should take you to a shared link that I already created. And you should be able to see those clips in there. And there's a few folders. You'll probably see a date folder in there. So navigate to video. If anybody has any issues, let me know. And if you have access, give me a little wave or a hands up. All right, got a couple in there. So navigate into that video folder. Everyone got the picture? Now everyone navigate to that video folder. You can see now we've got Derek Cam. We've got the Teradek device. And if you go in there, you can actually start leaving your own comments as well. It's really easy to do. Tap on the screen. You can either type in a comment. You can leave an annotation. I'd love to see a couple that pop in here. But you can see how quickly and easy it is for us to be able to just see these assets pop right in to frame. So now my creative team is actually able to access these files very, very easily. Did we get one in there? There we go. 3 dog pack pictures. Love it. There we go. We throw a couple others in there if we want to, but you get the idea how quickly and easy it is for you to access these files. You can even download these if you want to. I can enable that or disable that in my share, but this is now available for everyone. And what's really cool about version 4 is that I was talking a little earlier about metadata tags. So if I actually go in here and I flatten all my folders, I can go in and find those clips that I just created. And you know what? I'm going to tag a couple of these. Let's say on a release platform. How about that? We'll say these are for Instagram, and these would be great for maybe, what other option do I have? YouTube. We're going to skip TikTok. Sorry, guys. So I've got these clips in there. I quickly made a tag of those. So now I can go over here and create a new collection. And a collection is kind of a dynamic folder that will automatically update based on the metadata tags I choose on my assets. So I'm going to choose a source folder. Let's go ahead and do cloud devices. And boom, all the cloud devices files come in. But now I can actually group these by choosing the release platform. I'm just going to type in platform. Boom. And now they're divided up as Instagram, YouTube. So now my creative team can go in and make those changes on those files. If I'm using an iOS app and I'm kind of a run and gun person on my own, I can quickly make those tags inside my phone, make those collections. It's very, very easy to do while you're on the go. And then, of course, we have our shares feature, which is what you guys are looking at right now is a share. But on the back end, it's really easy for me to add stuff to it. So since you guys are all on that link, what I'll do is I can actually drop in, let's drop in a couple of these other files that were already on my account. I could just drag them right into that share. And now if you refresh your link, you'll actually see those assets directly on your shared link. And you guys already know how that kind of works in Frame.io, but with Frame.io version 4, you've got this whole new customizable experience, header image and all that on top. You can add in icons and you've got a whole slew of options. So no more is review and presentation links. It's all one link called a share.